Hey guys, what's up? We're back with the final mock draft. How insane is this that we got one more of these videos and then we're done? That is insane. But I will be streaming the full draft tomorrow, full draft second, third round Friday, and then the rest of everything on Saturday. And I'm gonna be doing a couple hours after the draft ends to cover UDFA's. So it's gonna be fun. I don't think I'll stream on Sunday because that's not really fun. Just sitting around all day waiting for UDFA's. That's not fun to me. Um, but still streaming all 3 days of the draft. It's gonna be dope. So I want as many people in there as possible. I'm gonna try to get the picks as soon as possible too. I'm gonna try to definitely be ahead of the ESPN or NFL live stream because that thing takes way too long, and I usually like getting my picks way earlier than that. So that's what I'm going to be trying to do. I'm going to be doing everything through here, through my draft order spreadsheet that I've spent so long working on. I've done so much work into this. I color coded all the prospects by school, and then I color coded the position so we could find them easy when scrolling down. But also we have filters, so if I need to, I could just go in here, clear all of them, and then say say Quantez Stickers got drafted. Then I just go in here and go. Oh, Quantez Stickers got drafted. Do this. It brings me to Quantez Stickers. I go drafted by, and then it's super easy. So I'm gonna have a blast working on this. We got our top 582 prospects down here. So I am in shape for UDFA stuff too. I got 10 spots for each team down here too. So it works out perfectly. I'm so excited. I'm so pumped, and I am clearly very, very ready for this. We got my big board once again. I show this every time, but this one is kind of more in depth because I throw in like team fits and pro comparisons. I stopped after the top 257 because if I went from 258 to 582 with best team fits and pro comparisons, I would lose my mind. So only the top 257 have team fits and pro comparisons. But then this is, a little less in depth, but it just kind of organizes where I kind of have these players drafted. I do have a lot of UDFAs here, a lot of UDFAs. So I loaded my UDFA board because you can only fit a certain amount in each round. So I loaded up the UDFAs. These aren't in any particular rank. I just kind of slapped them on there, and then ranked them through this draft order sheet. So just because some of the players are on top doesn't mean they are my top. Typically, they will be. I put the players I like the most sort of towards the top, but some get mixed in. Like Trahan Jeffco, I actually think he's a draftable player, and I like him quite a bit. If I could, I would put him up here near Eric Watts and Miles Cole. But it's really just a list so that I have it, just so I know what grade I have on somebody. Because if I look at their name, I know where I have them. I know that I have Trahan Jeffcoat higher than Khalil Duke. I know in my head that I do. So this is, we got a lot of dudes here. I did a lot of extensive work on wide receivers and cornerbacks. That's my favorite film to watch too. Quite a few on the defensive line, not a lot of linebackers because not a lot of good linebackers in here. I just added in kickers and punters yesterday. So I went through, watched a bunch of film for the kickers and punters, and added those guys in there because I realized, look, I don't have any kickers or punters. I got to do that shit. So I don't have any kickers or punters in my top 257 because for me, positional value, I don't think they should be draftable. I'm sure a few will. But my first punter lands at 259. My first kicker, I believe, is Cam Little. Is Cam Little the first kicker? He is the first kicker at 288. And then we got Joshua Carty, of course. But yeah, so I will leave the link to this and my big board in the description if anyone wants to check it out. Let's get into this mock because I've spent way too long talking about that. And because everybody that watches is going to see it tomorrow. So it doesn't matter. Let's hop in here. First, we're going to do my ideal, of course. Man, 1 day away from the draft. And whew. Okay. This is a good board here. And we have 9 trade offers. This is a good board. I mean, Brock Bowers, I've kind of fallen off the Brock Bowers train just because, like, you look at the tight ends that have been drafted in the first round in the last 10 years, and they have no success, really. Like, David Njoku, sure, but I don't think he's a first-round talent anyway. I've kind of, like, if Brock Bowers is here at 16, I think I'd rather use that as leverage to trade back rather than take him. So Bowers, Fatanu, DeJean, Byron Murphy, lots of players on the board. If we could trade back to like 20, yep, with the Steelers, because look at the players on the board: Bowers, DeJean, Latu, Murphy, Fatanu. I could take any of those 5, or even Brian Thomas Jr. at 16, or I could trade back 4 spots, and I'm guaranteed to get 1 or 2 of them on the board there. So that's what I'm going to do. They're going to throw in 98 just to give us a late third, and I like that. I think that's good value. Looking at it here, we got the draft chart pulled up. That's 150 difference, and then you go down here, you look, it's at 108. So actually, we're kind of getting allegedly ripped off. So I could throw in, why am I going over there? I could throw in 84 instead, but why would I do that? I'd rather actually just have them throw in like a future 4th. That sounds better to me because I love the future picks. So we move back, got a late 3rd and a future 4th, and then we still get Cooper DeJean or Byron Murphy on the board. Oh, this is interesting. I might look at another trade back too with the Vikings. Because who's here? If I trade back to 23, who would I still take? I would take DeJean. I would take Murphy. Brian Thomas Jr. if he's still there. Penix is an option. And Amarius Mims too. Because let's see, what could we get if we trade back here? I mean, looking at this, we could probably get... Oh, man. We could probably get this pick, right? We could probably get 108 and then like maybe a future 5th. But I don't know. How about what we do is we throw them a future 6th and get a future 3rd. You know what? That's going to be it. Future 6th, and we move it up, bump it up for a future 3rd. I like that. Just add on to that draft capital that we got. And now we have DeJean and Murphy on the board. I've taken DeJean quite a bit. I'm going to roll with Byron Murphy here. We traded back twice. We got some great future capital. We got a late 3rd this year. Being able to get Byron Murphy here is just tremendous value that we could add onto that defensive line. I really, really like that. That's really good. Now here, this is interesting because I can take Spencer Rattler. Like, I wouldn't hate it if we take Rattler at 81. I wouldn't hate it. He's a good prospect. I look at Braylon Trice. This is good value for Braylon Trice. Dominic Pooney as well. Michael Hall would be really good here. Just not. I mean, we already took Murphy, so the first 2 picks, I don't know if we should really delve into the defensive line with both of our day 2 picks or top 100 picks, really. Cam Kinchins, I think that's good value for him here. This honestly might be a spot I'm looking to trade again. And I know a 3rd trade is crazy and kind of unrealistic, but we only picked up 1 extra pick for this year, so we might look to add another day 3 pick. So moving from 81, 185, so that gives us about 35, which would be about an early 5th. And what do they have here? They don't. Okay, so it would be about 35. So we could give them, they could give us 126, and we give them 192. That's what I'm thinking. So we move from 192 to 126. We don't pick up an extra pick, but I'm fine with that. We still get to move up a bit, and we get to move back with some great value on the board. And you know what? I might look at a guy that's not even listed here in Ketan Oladapo, or even Malik Mustafa. I love both of them, but Malik I think is such a good scheme fit for us, but we could probably pick him up at 98. So I'm going to look into Dominic Pooney. I just think he's a scheme fit. He's not like the fastest, but he is a good scheme fit. He could work in a zone blocking scheme. And I think because I love Mason McCormick. I like Mason McCormick more than Dominic Pooney, but McCormick is more of a developmental piece, and I don't think he'd start year 1. So you could say, have Mason McCormick sit and, don't start him. We could kind of try to develop him, but I don't know. I don't love it. I don't love that idea. I'd like to have kind of a young guy to get in there and be experienced. So I do not like, I mean, yeah, we could bring him in. We signed Laken Tomlinson, right? So we can, that's his name, right? Man, I'm completely blanking. Laken Tomlinson. Yes, we did. Okay. I was blanking. I'm like, that's Laken Tomlinson, right? Yep. We could have him sit behind Laken Tomlinson, but I feel like if we have Tomlinson start at the beginning of the season, we did something wrong here. So it's really an option between, do we want someone with a higher ceiling that wouldn't start this year, or someone that could come in as a starter? I'm going to go with the starting option. And I honestly just think that's better for us right now. Now is when, honestly, man, Braylon Trice is still on the board, though. So this is very interesting. My dogs are going crazy right now. This is very interesting because Braylon Trice, you know what? Yeah, I think I'm going to take a swing on Braylon Trice. If he gets that weight up a little bit and is able to be as athletic at that weight, at that size, as he was in college, I think he'll be pretty damn good in the NFL. I don't know why he decided to lose 30 pounds, but this is really, really good value. They have him ranked at 98. I don't get that. I'm taking him here at 98. That is just extremely good value. Cedric Van Pran, I have a second-round grade on him, but I don't think he falls this far. I don't think it's realistic. So looking at Cam Kinch, that's very intriguing. So is Cole Bishop is intriguing. Malik is intriguing. Ketan, I think I have to take a safety here. What are they barking at? Oh, my neighbor's taking his dogs out for a walk, so they're losing their mind right now. Yeah, Cam Kinchins, I mean, just him falling this far, originally being touted as a first-round prospect and falling this far, it's kind of the Kalen King effect, you know? Or the Keyshawn Boutte effect. But, yeah, I think that's great value for Cam. Just looking at a scheme fit, I just don't think Cam is athletic enough to work in a Mike Macdonald defense. I like Tyke Smith. I like Cole Bishop. But Malik is just, he is my guy. Like, he is my, in this safety class, Kalen Bullock and Malik Mustafa are my guys. And Malik is on the board here at 102. I'm pulling the trigger. I love him. Love him. Cedric Van Pran is still on the board. That's impossible. It's not going to happen. So I'm looking at Brendan Rice also on the board. is very intriguing. Tanner Bortolini, I think, might be a good pick for me. Just looking at, because like we addressed the left guard position, just not like overall. We didn't address center and really the rest of our offensive line. So Matt Goncalves is intriguing. I think Tanner Bortolini is the top pick for me right now. We already took a defensive interior and an edge and a safety. So I might want to go offense here. But the thing is, who would I want to take here? Luke McCaffrey, very intriguing. We do have pick 126, though. Theo Johnson, also intriguing. I think for me it's between Bortolini and Theo Johnson. Who do I think is more likely to be there at 128? I think it's going to be Tanner Bortolini. I think that Theo Johnson is such a raw, athletic freak that if he's on the between 118 and 126, there are several teams I could see swinging on him. Broncos for sure are a big one. Texans, even the 49ers, and I do not want the 49ers to get Theo Johnson. I'm going to take him here because I just do not want them to get their hands on Theo Johnson. And Tanner Bortolini falls into our lap. I will point out, I like Mason Smith a lot. For the Seahawks, I don't have him ranked that high. I have him ranked at about 140, around that range. We could check. But I do think it's down there. 148. But I love his scheme fit for the Seahawks. I think it's really good. I think he's kind of that Justin Matabuke developmental type that Mike McDonald would love. So if we get Mason Smith at 102 or 118, I will be not surprised at all. I think that's a very Mike McDonald pick, and I definitely could see that happening. But I'm not going to take him here. This is not predictive, but might be able to look out for that in the next mock. But Tanner Bortolini is the easy pick. Really good prospect. I don't necessarily want to say he'd start over Olu just because he is a rookie and Olu's been here for a year. So I'd say he probably would be the backup right now, and that would allow us to cut Nick Harris, save a couple $1 million. I like that. On the board here, we have not taken a linebacker yet, but that's fine. We're not going to draft for positional value. We're going to draft for BPA, which for me, Gabe Hall is intriguing. But you know what? James Williams is a linebacker, and he's honestly might be BPA for me on the board here. I really like James Williams. I think he transitions over to linebacker, and he's going to do really well in this league. I don't think I need to think about this that much. If James Williams is on the board at 179, and I didn't take Junior Colston or Edgerrin Cooper, I'm pulling the trigger on that. That's really, really good value. Joe Milton here is intriguing. Frank Gore is intriguing as well. Is there anyone else? Jalen Ford is great, but he won't be here, I don't believe. Edifwan also will not be here. Mayan Williams I do like. Zion I like. I might look at wide receivers. No, Hayden Hatton I like, but I don't think he's really draftable. I think I'm going to go Frank Gore here just to make sure the 49ers don't get him a little later on. And he is a good back. I have him ranked, I think, in the 5th round. I don't necessarily know if he'll go that high, but if he is here in the 7th, I mean, how could you not take him? And that's just great value. So this is a really good mock, I think. And again, this is my ideal, not predictive. We're moving on to that next. So let's check. They didn't love my draft. They gave me a B. But you look at this, we got a future 4th. We moved a future 6th into a future 3rd. So that's really great. So that means our picks next year are going to be, with the compensatory picks, we'll have a 1st, a 2nd, 2 3rds, 3 4ths, a 5th, and a 7th. I mean, that's incredible because we got the 5th round compensatory pick from Jordan Brooks, and we got the or Bobby Wagner, one of them. I think we got one from both. And we got the 4th from Damian Lewis. So, yeah, really, really good to have 2/3 and 3/4 next year. That's really, really, really cool. I love getting capital for the future. I love it. I love it. Byron Murphy, that's really, really good. That's a really good pick. Address the defensive interior. Dominic Pooney comes in, I think, as a starting left guard, and then Laken Tomlinson at less than $2 million is a very solid backup for us. We traded back again, moved it from the 6th to the 4th. Got Braylon Trice, amazing value. Just a really good prospect. If he can get that weight up again, start eating donuts or something, then he'll be really good in the NFL, I think. Malik Mustafa, really good value here, I think. PFF doesn't think so, but I think so. I think he's a really good scheme fit for us. He'll really work with Mike well. Theo Johnson, best player available, honestly. And it was between him and Tanner Bortolini, who we ended up taking 8 picks later. So both really good value picks. Theo comes in as a tight end too, and Bortolini comes in as a backup center who will probably blossom into the starter at some point this season. James Williams, the only linebacker we took, and that's fine because he is a really good prospect. He's one of the day 3 prospects that is like actually has really high upside as a linebacker. And I really like him. And like you wouldn't want to play him at safety, but if there are injuries and you need someone to fill in, you could put James Williams at safety. And then Frank Gore, good running back prospect, and really just not, I don't want to say BPA, but it's like I feel like we should take a running back like in the 7th or the 6th just to get that running back 4 and just another special teamer to replace DJ Dallas. And that is that pick. That is a great pick, in my opinion. I say I'll download it again just in case I didn't do it. Now we're going to do the predictive. So this is different. This is what I think is going to happen. Let's see what John and Mike cook up. And, on the board here, I'm not even going to trade. I'm going to take Byron Murphy, I believe. I think, well, we can think about this. I did see that report of John like constantly telling people to keep finding trade partners. So we'll look at the trades, of course. Steelers, Eagles, Cardinals, Panthers, Patriots. Honestly, I think the Eagles is a really intriguing one because we could like move from like 81 down to 50, and I think they'd love the idea moving from the 3rd up. I think they'd love that. And then maybe we could pick up a later pick too, like a 5th round pick since we gave ours up. And I think this is a really good value trade for both sides. Terry and Arnold is still on the board, I believe. Yep, he is. And I think they'd trade up for him. And honestly, if we get offered to move from the 3rd to the 5th or from the 3rd to the 2nd and get a 5th, that's really good value. I don't see us turning that down. So I'm going to pull the trigger on that. And they traded up for Fatanu. All right, so we trade back and get Cooper DeJean. That's really good value. And if we're in the 20s and DeJean is on the board, depending on who else is there, but if DeJean is on the board, I don't think we pass him up because he's that Kyle Hamilton piece that I think Mike would just love and adore. On the board here at 50, Michael Penix. It's got to be Penix, right? I think it's got to be Penix. Looking here, we could get Jaden Hicks. We just got DeJean, though, so probably not. Edrin Cooper, I think, is a really good scheme fit for this defense. I honestly, if we trade back and get him in the late 1st, I won't complain. I love it. I think he's a really good scheme fit. Christian Haynes, really good right guard prospect, but I don't think we'd be looking to take a right guard. Marshawn Kneeland is a really good prospect. I have a first-round grade on him. Same with Andrew Phillips. I love both of them. But I think if Michael Penix is on the board, it's just BPA along with positional value. That is such a great mock. Just already, this is such a great mock, getting DeJean and Michael Penix. I mean, that is just amazing. And then we look at 102. We're on the board here. Ben Sinnott is on the board, and that's really good value. But also, Michael Hall is on the board. I think Michael Hall, really good. He's like the top nose tackle of this draft, and you don't even have to play him there. He could kind of slide all over the defensive line, and he's just a good pick to really build the trenches here. And really, because that's the thing, we don't go for need in the first round. We go for BPA. So looking at 22, DeJean is BPA there, and looking at 50, that's BPA. 2 BPA picks, and then in day 3 is really when we start to go for need. So then we might look at getting a guard here or getting defensive interior. And looking here, this is the pick to do that with Michael Hall on the board. It's great value and just really good replacement for Jaron Reed once he leaves. And then we look on the board here. Who's here? We got Bordellini is another good guy. We still got Mason Smith, but I took Michael Hall. I'm not going to do that. What I will do, I think, is Mohamed Kamara. He seems like a Seahawks pick. He seems like a Mike McDonald pick. I love his work ethic. I love his play. I love his moves, his skills, his athleticism. He is the full package in my eyes, and I want this guy as a Seahawk. I want him as a Seahawk. Like, if we have to take him at 102, I don't care. Do it. I want him as a Seahawk. He screams blue and green to me. I want him on this team. He is he's one of those prospects where I'm like, that is my guy. Mohamed Kamara, he is one of my guys. I love him. And I think Mike will like him too. And half the reason I like him and love him is because of what a great fit he would be on this team. I'm going to take him there. And so our 4th round consists of a DT and an edge. That's honestly a great 4th round in my opinion. And then looking at it, we have not taken anything on the offensive line. Zach Zinter still here is very intriguing. I think it wouldn't be a Mike McDonald draft without getting one Michigan guy. And Zach Zinter here, I think teams will look at that as great value because he was supposed to be a second rounder before he got injured. But he's a right guard, so we get him. It's more just for depth. We're not expecting anything out of him. You know, he might step up and be a starter if Bradford doesn't work out. And I think at 161, that's great value for him. I don't particularly love Zach Zinter, but that is really good value there at 161. And I think there's a good chance we could pull the trigger there. All right, let's see. You know what? I might take Javion Cohen too. I took him in the last mock, but again, this is a pick where I think we're gonna draft for need here, and we're gonna value a guy with pretty good upside that could be a solid backup for right now. And I think Javion Cohen is that guy. Trey Taylor and Dominique Hampton are both very intriguing prospects. I'm just not sure we'd take another safety here. I think we're going for need now, and Javion Cohen I think is going to answer that need for us. I'm going to take him there. On the board at 192, I might go cornerback. Cornerback is intriguing. So is linebacker, of course. Let's look back through, analyze all this. We got Cooper DeJean. He'll be safety. He's not going to play corner for us most likely. Penix, just great guy to sit behind Geno. And then we traded that to move up into the second. Michael Hall and Mohamed Kamara. Man, what a great draft there. And then Zach Zinter. And then we got Javion Cohen. So right now, I might be looking for linebacker. Might be looking for cornerback and linebacker is what I'm going to narrow it down to here. Ryan Watts is intriguing, but I do think he'd be more of a safety. Let's see with linebacker. There are some guys here that I really could see us taking. Nathaniel Watson is one of those guys. John Trey Hunter, honestly, I don't think he's that bad of a prospect. I like him. Maybe not like in the 6th, but I do like him. Curtis Jacobs could be a guy that you just look at the tools. And he's like really good athleticism. He needs a bit of development. You wouldn't really look at him as like a starter in his first year, but someone to sit behind the linebackers we already signed. I think they could look at that and say that that's great athleticism that could blossom into something. And yeah, I think they could look at that as BPA combined with drafting for need. Curtis Jacobs is a very, very interesting pick there. I wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't love it, but it's just a pick, really. And then here, I think we could look for corner. Maybe corner, maybe tackle as well. Frank Crum is interesting. Daquan Hardy is also interesting. Let's look at the cornerbacks still on the board. I like Ryan Watts. Josh Wallace is intriguing. You know what? Marcellus Dial is still on the board. I like him. I have Marcellus Dial a lot higher than this. Where do I have him at? Marcellus Dial, I have him in the early 6th. I've seen people put him in the 3rd, and I don't understand that. But Marcellus Dial, this is really good value, honestly. And he's got tools. He's a good. I could see him being like a Trey Brown type of pick, you know. And this is great value for Marcellus Dial. I'm going to take him here. That's great value for him. I think he'll be high on their board too. Just because he's kind of an athletic freak, man. How is that not an A+? Wow. Well, an A- draft here. Let's save this. So looking at it, we moved from the middle of the 3rd to the 2nd with 50, and we got a 5th. So we got Cooper DeJean, good versatile safety, the Kyle Hamilton in this draft. Michael Penix, really good prospect to sit behind Geno. And then next year, assuming we cut Geno, we have a Michael Penix and Sam Howell duel for starting QB. Michael Hall replaces Jaron Reed next year. Good prospect. Best nose tackle in this draft because Cam Young is still unproven. We don't know what we have there, and it could never hurt to add another defensive lineman. Muhammad Kamara. Speaking of defensive line, I spent so much time talking about him. I don't need to go into it again, but he is my guy. And you know what? Taking an edge, he'd be like the 4th edge on this roster, but we could cut Darrell Taylor if we draft an edge in the first 5 rounds, I think, and save some money. I love this pick. I love Muhammad Kamara. He provides the pass rush ability of Darrell Taylor while also providing a bit more support in the run game. Zach Zinter, best value pick, honestly, getting some good depth at right guard. If Bradford doesn't work out, he could just slide to starter. Javion Cohen, pretty much the same, just with left guard. Good value pick. If Laken Tomlinson gets hurt or something, he could slide in, be the starting left guard. And if you find a hidden gem there, you find a hidden gem. Curtis Jacobs, just a toolsy guy that has some potential. Floor isn't super high, but it's the thing is with Curtis Jacobs, he's a real boomer bust prospect. He could end up getting cut before the season even starts, but he could also blossom into like a franchise linebacker. That's how I feel about him. He's a really good prospect that's just hard to tell, you know. Marcellus Dial, best value on the board, honestly. Honestly, just best value. And we hadn't taken a corner yet, so being able to get him just in the door and getting just kind of an athletic freak, really, really good value. So this is my ideal mock here and my predictive right here. So that is going to do it for this video. The last mock draft. So make sure to tune in to the stream tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday. Watch all of them. Follow all 257 picks with me. It's going to be a blast. It's going to be a blast. I can't wait. We've been building this for how long? I cannot wait. So make sure to tune in. I'm going to work on my 7-round mock now. If I don't end up posting it, then I don't end up posting it, you know, and that'll be all right. But just depends on how much work I need to put into it, you know. But I'm going to grind, try to get that out for you guys. But this has been a great series of videos that I've enjoyed making quite a bit, and I cannot wait for tomorrow. So good video, good luck.